Quiet down!
Waiting for the van to turn up. Like I was saying, I prefer to buy a van that's got a cold engine and it's going to turn up with a hot engine, but get our head underneath and see how it smells and looks.
The perils of buying second-hand cars.
Yeah.
200 miles away from
Okay.
Yemi.
Hey.
We are now the proud owners of the new V2. Annie and Yemi.
Here it is. The bonnet's open, not because it's broken down, but because we've just been finished testing it. There, the bonnet closes. It's ready to rock.
And we should say on camera that they've been very generous to give us a £100 discount.
They have been generous.
The
edge is largely down to you, and you, and you. So. Okay. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Nice to talk to you. Yeah. Okay. Any comments?
Well, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Satisfied. It's a bit of a rust bucket, but it has a lovely roof
It's
rack.
got a £500 roof rack on it, but these are exceptional circumstances. Any indication of what the problem was with the original gear change on it? Has that come up? Because that caused us such a headache over a long period of time. Just curious as what it was.
This is the dual mass, which we're changing to this one, I think.
Okay.
And, well, I think it's a mixture of everything, to be honest, but we've got a lot of playing the bearings and the...
Because it was bouncing out of fifth gear. He seemed to be running all right, and then when he drove it down here that night, it was popping out of fifth gear.
There was no oil in that gearbox. So it's probably half the reason.
Like I say, stiff by the neck. They probably knew after owning it for a while.
The gearbox had been out.
It had been out. Yeah. Oh right.
It had a couple of bolts in it that had been packed out with about 50 washers. Because they were too long, yeah.
So there's a good chance that they bought it, found the problem, got somebody to take the gearbox out, realised it was all too much, they said sling it back in, somebody just shoved it back in and they put it back on the market.
Or it was done way before that.
Well, yeah, clearly. Yeah.
It's definitely been out before. What is this called? We've got 50 washers packed on the end of a bolt.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Just took a hacksaw to it and cut it down, it would have been easier.
Yeah. Good job.
The reason it's jumping out of the gear, I think, is inside the gearbox.
Yeah.
The mixture of the diff and the dual mass doesn't help at all.
So there's a whole range of problems with it.
Okay, Peter.
It's probably a major contribution to motorcycle maintenance of this book, that when you get stuck on fixing motorcycles, that's not a bad moment. That's actually a pretty good moment. And the times I've been stuck, I've been able to catch myself at being stuck, and instead of getting mad, just gone off. By the time if you assume there is such a thing as quality, then you find out what you have to do to your philosophy to adopt this thing called quality. You find your whole philosophy is upended. You have to do what's called a Copernican revolution. You have to say that quality is the source of subjects and objects, rather than that subjects and objects are the source of quality. And that, I hope, is the philosophic turtle's back.
24 hours.
24 hours?
Come on. I'll show them to you. boys.
Hi, Peter.
Hello. Anything back on the clutch assembly?
Yeah, we are good to go on that
The
one.
whole assembly you haven't yet now, is it?
No, it's what you see down there.
These bits here?
That's the clutch kink, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's your plan of action then?
Put it in, put the gears back in.
Yeah.
We're not going to be ready that until next week. I've still got to strip the rear brakes yet.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
It's not going to go back together till tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
24 hours.
24 hours?
You ready tomorrow?
Yeah, that's how busy we are.
Jesus.
I don't have a lot of choice.
I'll drop the tyre in on Monday.
Yeah, no worries.
And you've got the brakes to do as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got
new calipers going on there, is it?
Well, I don't know yet. I won't know until I strip it right down.
24 hours? 24 hours?
I want to get the front box up so we can at least get the ramp out.
Yeah.
And then I can start stripping the rear brakes.
Okay, well, I'm just
Cracked timing case cover, it's broken a couple of teeth off the timing gear.
relieved that that's...
Yeah, no, we're good with that one. I was questioning it because this is what we call a self-adjusting clutch.
Yeah.
Okay, and that one is different. It's not self-adjusting.
Oh.
The radiator's damaged at the core.
Okay.
But I have been assured that that one is correct for this.
And yeah, I think Lewis said you wanted them to be liable if there was...
Yeah. I don't want to put the wrong one. It's a big job to take it all back out again.
All right.
We like to give the impression.
But yeah, we're good to go by the looks of it. So tomorrow, the
24 hours.
24 hours?
front end will all be boxed up.
Yeah. This thing. This thing here would be nice to go in.
This engine's been modified by our mechanical genius here, Moriarty. Right?
Whatever you say, babe.
Look at how the pieces are put on there.
Tanks are faster than any other tanks in the European theater of operation. Forwards or backwards. See, man, we like to feel that we can get out of trouble quicker than we got in.
Nice, beautiful military grade Land Rover. Okay, I'll check in on Monday and see. I'll bring that tyre down.
Yes, that'll be good.
Thank you, Nate.
No worries.
Cheers.
What does that mean?
I mean, like, don't let the dirt and the rust hang you up. We like to give the impression that we're just out of action, badly in need of a period of rest and reorganization. And that way nobody bugs us.
back at the garage in High.
Again,
Pick up
keep coming back.
Eleanor too. There she is. Look at her sunbathing.
There she blows. Has she got fuel in her?
A little bit.
Do you want to take her for a jolly or just go back to the house?
Let's see.
Take a right here.
Okay, the gearbox saga continues. Hopefully it's reached its climax and end.
It's got bagger to deliver that's been donated.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. He's taking this whole thing so seriously that he's even practicing how to repair, do repairs desert style while still sitting in his driveway in Southampton. Making it as hard as possible. Can you tell how long is that piece of pipe? The one that
Yeah, I
is
can feel to the end of it.
okay.
If I heat that with a blowtorch, that could loosen it.
So Peter rather cleverly has decided he's going to use a blowtorch to heat up the exhaust pipe. Because I suppose I ought to mention that the exhaust pipe is next to the petrol tank, at which he is aiming the flame directly to. So this might be the last images you ever see of us.
collar for that. Some foil in now, tighten those up, and that might be it.
Fantastic.
Try and start her up.
Is it done?
Yeah.
Ah!
Well, I think it is.
I am feeling more and more confident as the days go by of going to the desert with this man. I'm definitely going with this man to the desert, for sure.
Where's the button?
Remember, there's a button.
So just going to occasional little squirts in there.
He stayed on longer because I was spraying. Keep trying. Yeah. Okay. Right. Again. So we've had another extraordinary day with LNO2. We went to pick her up from the garage after having replaced the gearbox, which is now a Trim, very smooth, works really well. The boys also replaced the back brakes, so we have new back brakes, new gearbox and clutch. The exhaust pipe, we took LNO2 for a jolly ride to test it out. It was driving beautifully, and halfway on a test run, the exhaust pipe broke and fell on the middle of the road. So Peter had to patch the exhaust pipe with using his belt. We had unfortunately run out of memory in a camera, so we couldn't film that, but he patched the exhaust pipe with his belt, and then we drove her back home all very nicely and smoothly. It seemed like an easy job. Then he proceeded to cut an old piece of pipe. He'd done a beautiful job replacing the exhaust pipe with a repair sort of MacGyver style. And then when we tried to start her, she wouldn't go. Exactly the same way that she did when I first came around a couple of months ago to deliver her. We've been trying for several minutes now to get her started, trying different things using the Easy Start spray in copious amounts. That hasn't worked. So we are baffled again at why this is happening. So she may have to stay, in fact she will stay here for a few more days. I suppose Peter will have to try and get her down to the garage again for the boys to have a look at it, and I guess we'll have to start thinking on whether it is a good idea at all to take LNO2 with us to Gambia. So far it's not inspiring a lot of confidence, certainly not of me. I know Peter is very keen on make this work, but as I said to him, it is fun now here working in his driveway in sunny Southampton. It'll be a completely different thing for this to be happening on a regular basis while we're on the road in the desert and various other locations on our way to Gambia. So stay tuned, we'll see what's to come.
We put some cold start in there. Yeah. And she's firing on cold start. Yeah. But not keeping on going. Yeah.
That's exactly the same as I would have done.
Yeah.
You go. I'm going now. It's hard everybody again. It's hard to be humble. Start up again in a minute. Yep. Have a word with the guys down there. I just want to listen to engines all day. So nice. Keep that on special sauce. Yeah, I did do a bit of paper in the
now, because after yesterday's events, I'm feeling pretty lackluster, and it's really kind of not my motivation at the moment. And frustration is, I mean, yesterday when the exhaust fell off when we were driving through Bewley, quite comical. I can relate to a bit of rusty pipe and the repairs that I needed to do that. It's palpable. But the nature of the problem with the restart, because it's beyond me, I suppose I'm kind of hit with the reality of my own limitations. I mean, this is a vehicle that's 16 years old, and yet is still too complicated for me to truly get my head around. I've gotten more familiar with certain aspects of the Vito, but I still feel a little bit of a loss for certain problems that relate to it. So in a little while I'm going to go down into Hythe, because last night after I dropped Daniel at the train station, restart LNO2 with her engine cold, and she didn't want to start. I left her another 40 minutes, and she started straight away. And so with the engine running, I drove her down to Hythe Garage last night and parked her back in the same position where we had picked her up yesterday morning, and locked her up, and I'm going to go down and see the guys down there and tell them about the problem we had. And hopefully they can give me some kind of reassurance that this is something that they can. Anyway, I'm going to take a stroll down to Hythe Garage, and let's see what we can get the guys to do. So we're here. As you might know, I didn't stroll down, I drove down. I'm feeling very lazy at the moment. There's Lewis's V-Dub. New as it is, he's been having problems with that. And there's Richard's Subaru Impreza, so she's in sophisticated company. Let's go and have a look. See what she does. Yeah, she's just started. So I'm going to leave her running. Let her warm up and see if we can get this problem to recur. Let's go and talk to the guys. Hello, Nathan.
I see the band's back.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to Richard yesterday's catastrophe.
What's up?
Drove her to the New Forest, a test driver. Everything's sweet, really nice drive. Exhaust falls off at Bewley.
Right, okay.
Okay, that's the least of my problem. I know what an exhaust is. It's metal, I can deal with it, yeah? We got it back to my place. I rigged up a brief repair because I thought maybe Daniel would drive it back up to Warminster. Couldn't get it to start.
Right, okay.
And I don't think you've had any starting problems with her at all all the time.
I've jumped in it and I've gone.
So yesterday I rigged up the exhaust. It took over an hour. The engine was cold and we could not get her to fire up.
What was that GD?
Starter motor's turning, but she's not firing. It took about an hour to arrive, and when he arrived, he said, "Get in and start it." He said, "I'll try cold start." He said. I told him she started straight away, and he hadn't even squirted any cold start in there. So we thought, great, we got it running. He turned it off. Turn it on, it worked, turn it off, turn it on, it worked. Okay, so thanks very much. Off he went. Daniel and I had a cup of coffee. Half an hour later, we went out. He was going to drive it back to Warminster. It would not start. And we tried for the next hour. We let it go cold. It would not start. I gave it another half an hour. But this time I tried a little bit of cold start. She fired up straight away. So I drove her down here last night, locked her up. And then I've just arrived here now. And without cold start, I've turned it and she started up first time.
Right.
Okay, mate.
Okay.
Bye.
I don't know what we're going to do with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Because the repairman yesterday said one thing, looking online, I hear people saying other things. The guy last night was saying camshaft sensor.
Did it come up as a fault with the camshaft sensor?
Well, he didn't even bother the diagnostics, because when he came
right,
along,
sorry,
it started, you see.
I mean, well, yeah, let us plug into it first. I presume that they had plugged in and
No, he didn't
they
even
didn't come up with
reach that
anything.
point. No, he...
Right.
Sounds like cranks.
Yeah, why don't we look at it first then, in that sense, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's one of the
Sorry,
things
I just presumed that they'd looked at it and they'd come up with nothing.
Yeah. I don't really want to say, because there's nothing more annoying than a customer who turns up who tells you what the problem is.
Well,
I'll switch her off and give you the key back.
Yeah. Alright, do that, yeah, and we'll plug in and see if anything comes up.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
And so at the moment, it's possible you could discover it, but if you can't, then we'll
Yeah,
look
a
at
decent specialist, then let's look at it first, we'll go from there.
Okay, alright.
24 hours. 24 hours?
What's in this?
It's filled with paint.
So why would you fill it with paint?
When we fire it, it makes pretty pictures.
So why would you want to paint pretty pictures?
It scares the hell out of me.
Oh, I was half expecting it to continue. I think you forgot the little corner there.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Just leave it on there. You can do very little. No, leave it.
Blackened shroud, a hand-me-down gown of red.